Welcome to my channel. Listen to my stories every day. Comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy listening.
My name is Derek, and today, I'm leaving work early, a rare treat in my line of business, but Mealy's turning 35, and I want to surprise her. We've been married for a decade, tangled up in the kind of love that burns too hot, and maybe too chaotic at times. She's from money, old money, the kind that whispers through generations. And Mealy, she's never really learned to deny herself the pleasures of wealth, be it jewels, cars, or, as I would find out, flesh. As I drive through our gated community, I rehearse the surprise in my mind. In the passenger seat, there's a small, elegantly wrapped box containing a vintage Rolex. Her father had one just like it. I imagine how her eyes will light up, how she'll throw her arms around me, forgetting all our past misdemeanors for a moment of pure joy. I smile at the thought. Pulling into our driveway, something feels off. There are too many cars for a simple evening at home. I park behind a sleek black convertible that I don't recognize, and my stomach tightens. Probably just her friends, I mutter to myself, trying to brush off the creeping anxiety. I unlock the front door, the sound of laughter and music spills out. It's louder than our usual evening playlist, a pulsing, raucous beat that doesn't fit with Mealy's usual indie tastes. Surprise! I call out, stepping into the foyer, the Rolex heavy in my coat pocket. The scene before me freezes my blood. There, in the middle of our living room, is Mealy. Almost naked, save for the scantiest pieces of lingerie, dancing closely with a man dressed, or rather, undressed, as Superman, his costume leaving little to the imagination. They're not alone. A small crowd of her friends cheer them on, sipping champagne and laughing under the strobe lights we use for our annual New Year's bash. My heart sinks, then hardens. The room falls silent as Mealy locks eyes with me. Derek, she gasps, the color draining from her face. I can't move. I can't speak. I can only watch as Superman awkwardly steps back, adjusting his cape like it could cover up this disaster. Derek, it's not. Don't. My voice is a blade, cutting her off. The crowd's eyes dart between us, the air thick with tension. I hold up the box with the Rolex, the symbol of a decade of love, and now, betrayal. This was for you, I say quietly, then toss it onto the sofa. It lands with a thud, heavy in its symbolism. Mealy reaches out, tears brimming. Please, let me explain. I shake my head, backing away. There's nothing you can say. Not anymore. Turning on my heel, I leave the house, the sound of Mealy calling my name drowned out by the slamming of the door. As I drive away, the weight of her betrayal anchors itself to my heart. But with it comes a dark resolve. She may be used to getting everything she wants, but this time, she's crossed a line. And I, Derek, am done playing the forgiving husband. No, this time, it's about revenge. I find myself at the Rusty Anchor, a dive bar on the edge of town where the lighting is dim and the whiskey is cheap. Here, nobody knows my name, and that's how I prefer it tonight. My phone buzzes relentlessly, Mealy's name flashing on the screen. I ignore it, focusing instead on the amber liquid in front of me. Rough night? The bartender, a middle-aged man with a salt and pepper beard, slides over to my side of the bar. You could say that, I reply, not really in the mood for small talk. He nods, understandingly, pouring me another without asking. It's then I notice a man 2 stools down. He's been glancing my way since I walked in, his eyes sharp and calculating. Can I buy you a drink? He asks, gesturing to the bartender. Curiosity piqued, I nod. Sure, why not? He introduces himself as Mark, an ex-private investigator. As we talk, it's clear he's no stranger to stories of betrayal. He listens, nodding as I recount the evening's disaster, my words laced with the sting of betrayal and the burn of whiskey. So, you want revenge? Mark's voice is low, almost a whisper. I do. Something memorable. Mark leans in, his expression serious. I can help you with that. But are you sure? Revenge can be a messy business. I think of Mealy, of the hurt written all over her face, the crowd's shocked stares. Yes, I'm sure. Mark nods, pulling out a business card and sliding it across the bar. Call me tomorrow. We'll plan something she won't forget. Leaving the bar, the cool night air hits me, sobering. I drive home, the silence of the house greeting me. Upstairs, the guest room feels alien, but it's better than sharing a bed with a stranger. The next morning, I call Mark. He invites me to a small cafe downtown, where we sit in a secluded corner. What do you have in mind? He asks, sipping his coffee. I want it to be public, humiliating. I want her to feel a fraction of what I felt last night. Mark nods, jotting down notes. There's a charity gala next month. High profile, her parents will be there, the cream of society. Perfect, I say, the word tasting bitter on my tongue. We'll need inside help. Someone close to her, Mark suggests. Any ideas? I think of Jenna, Mealy's younger sister, always overshadowed, always resentful of Mealy's effortless charm. I might know someone. Mark raises an eyebrow. Get her on board, and we're in business. The plan begins to take shape, each detail sharp as a knife's edge. It feels right, it feels just. But beneath it all, a quiet voice whispers, is it really? As I leave the cafe, my phone buzzes again. It's Jenna. After explaining the situation, her response is swift and cold. I'm in. She's had this coming for a long time. Everything is set. The stage, the players, the script. Revenge, as they say, is a dish best served cold. And come next month, Mealy will dine on nothing colder. The weeks leading up to the gala are a blur of whispers and secretive meetings. Jenna proves to be an invaluable ally, her knowledge of Mealy's schedule and habits allowing us to weave a net so tight around our plan that even Houdini couldn't escape it. We meet again, this time at Jenna's apartment, a chic minimalist space that contrasts sharply with her sister's opulent tastes. Maps of the gala venue are spread across the dining table, alongside guest lists and schedules. Mealy's going to be the guest of honor, Jenna says, tracing a finger down the list. She'll be giving a speech about her philanthropic work. Mark, who's been quietly listening, looks up. That's our moment. We strike when all eyes are on her. I nod, feeling the weight of our plot heavy in the air. What about the evidence? Jenna smirks, pulling out her phone. Got it right here. She shows us texts and emails from Mealy's phone, her plans to meet up with her mysterious Superman again, and other less savory communications. She's not as clever as she thinks. Good, I say. Mark, how do we present this? We'll make a video. Mix her speech with these texts popping up, real time. Project it right behind her as she talks about her virtues. Mark's eyes gleam with a cold fire. Imagine the crowd's reaction. The plan feels surreal, like something out of a spy movie. But the hurt and betrayal fuel me, pushing any doubts to the back of my mind. Who will do the technical setup? I ask, knowing the execution needs to be flawless. I've got a guy, Mark replies. Experienced in, let's call it creative presentations. He'll make sure it all goes off without a hitch. Jenna nods, satisfied. What about after? When it all comes crashing down? That, I say, is up to Mealy. She can make her choice then. Whether to come clean or dig a deeper hole. The days tick down, each one slower than the last. I find myself unable to focus on anything but the gala. My work suffers, my friends start to question my state of mind, but nothing matters except the look I imagine will be on Mealy's face when her world comes crumbling down. Finally, the night arrives. We're all in place, the ballroom is lavishly decorated, the guests dressed in their finest. Mealy looks radiant in a gown that sparkles under the chandeliers, unaware of the storm about to break over her. As she steps up to the podium, the room quiets. I stand at the back, Mark and Jenna nearby, all of us waiting for the cue. Mealy starts her speech, her voice steady and proud. As many of you know, my commitment to charity is something I hold very dear. Mark nods at his technician, stationed at the back with the projector. As planned, halfway through her speech, the first message appears behind her, large and impossible to ignore. The room's mood shifts, whispers start to bubble up, eyes not on Mealy, but on the words floating above her head. Mealy continues, oblivious until the murmurs grow louder. She turns, her eyes catching the text behind her. Panic replaces pride, her facade cracks. The room erupts, some gasping, some muttering disapproval. Cameras flash, capturing every moment of her downfall. Mealy stammers, tries to explain, but the damage is done. The crowd's scorn is palpable. As she rushes off the stage, humiliated, her eyes meet mine. There's accusation there, and hurt, but also a dawning realization of her own undoing. I watch, a hollow satisfaction settling in my chest. Revenge is sweet, they say, but tonight, it tastes only of ashes. The gala aftermath is a spectacle of whispers and quick exits. The media frenzy begins almost instantly, with cameras flashing and reporters scrambling to get a statement from anyone involved. I stay back, watching the chaos unfurl, a bitter taste lingering in my mouth. Mealy disappears into the crowd, her friends and even her family looking bewildered and unsure of how to react. Jenna stands next to me, her expression unreadable. "Is this what you wanted?" she asks, her voice flat. "It's what needed to happen," I reply, although I'm no longer sure of my own words. Mark claps me on the shoulder, a grim smile on his face. "Well done, Derek. That was a clean hit." I nod, but my heart feels heavy. Was it worth it? The question haunts me as I watch the fallout. The next morning, the headlines are brutal. Mealy's reputation is shredded, the details of her indiscretions laid bare for all to see. My phone is inundated with messages and calls, but I ignore them all. I need to think, to understand if the revenge brought any relief. Days pass, and the media storm doesn't abate. It's then I receive an unexpected call. It's from Mealy. I hesitate but decide to answer, needing to hear her voice. "Derek," she starts, her voice hoarse, likely from crying. "Why didn't you just ask me?" "What do you mean?" My confusion is genuine, but I feel a flicker of anger. "Mealy, I saw what I saw. What was there to ask?" There's a pause, and when she speaks again, her voice is steadier. "It was a setup, Derek. That night, the party, it wasn't what it looked like." I frown, processing her words. "What are you talking about?" "Jenna," she says, a single word that makes my blood run cold. "She set me up. She hired that stripper, told him it was a gag gift, and convinced my friends to keep it from you as a surprise." "But why?" I struggle to piece it together, the implications starting to dawn on me. "She was jealous, Derek. Always has been. She used you to get to me." The realization hits me like a freight train. Jenna had manipulated everything, and I had fallen for it, blinded by my own hurt and desire for revenge. I meet Mealy the next day, at a quiet cafe away from the prying eyes of the media. She looks tired, worn out by the ordeal but determined to clear her name. She brings proof, texts and emails between Jenna and the stripper, conversations with her friends planning the surprise. Everything corroborates her story. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I ask, regret lacing my words. "I tried," Mealy replies softly. "But you wouldn't listen. You were too hurt. The guilt is overwhelming. I had allowed my pain and Jenna's manipulation to cloud my judgment, to ruin the life we had built together over 10 years. I'm sorry, Mealy." I don't know what to say. She reaches across the table, her hand covering mine. Just say we can try to fix this together. The path to reconciliation is slow and fraught with challenges. We work through our issues with therapy and honest conversations. As for Jenna, she disappears, leaving a trail of apologies and excuses, but the damage she has done is irreparable. Months later, Mealy and I rebuild our trust and our marriage. The media has moved on, and our lives begin to find a new, quieter rhythm. The pain of the betrayal and the revenge still linger, but they are overshadowed by our renewed commitment to each other. Looking back, I realize that revenge did not bring the satisfaction I had expected. Instead, it taught me about forgiveness, and the value of seeking the truth before passing judgment. It's a lesson hard learned, and one I won't soon forget.